Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Talkin' Business. I'm Joey Trombley, and on the camera is the founding father of Hometown Cable himself, Calvin Castine. Our travels have taken us today to the Wynn Place and Show Farm here on the Hafer Road in Champlain, and this is a business that is kind of off the beaten path here, so to speak, and you really don't know it's here. And we want to bring it to the viewers' attention. And this horse farm is run by Carolyn Reed and Sam Trombley, and they have over 11 acres of land here, and they have an indoor riding stable, outdoor riding stable. So we're going to learn a lot today about the Wynn Place Show Farm here in Champlain, New York, on the Hafer Road. We have made it inside the Wynn Place and Show Farm here in Champlain, and Calvin, I will say this, and Sam and Carolyn, it's a lot warmer right now than it is out there. I think there's wind chill factors out here at the end of April. But I got Sam Trombley and Carolyn Reed, and thank you for inviting us to your place of business here today. And I know you guys, well, Sam, I know you guys have been doing horses for a long time. If you can kind of give the viewers a little history of your love for horses and how you got involved with it, Carolyn.
I started riding when I was in 3rd grade. My parents brought me my first pony when I was in 6th grade, and it's gone on since then. It's been sporadic at times when I went to college, and then when I decided to move back up this way and start the restaurant and stuff, but now I'm back into it full time.
Well, I was doing a little research with you on the internet there, and you were pretty competitive back when you were younger days riding the horses, weren't you?
Yes, it was actually, I didn't start competing until college, but we made it to nationals both years that I was on the team, so that was quite fun.
And that's the first time ever, right?
Yeah.
So that's quite and that was, what college?
Skidmore.
Skidmore College.
Yep.
So that was the first time ever for Skidmore.
That I'm not positive about.
Okay.
I'm not sure. I think they may have gone there before.
They might have competed, but they didn't. But you guys placed when you were there, right?
Yeah.
So.
Yep. We ended up 3rd in the nation that year.
In the nation.
Yeah.
So that's a nice little history there.
Yeah.
So in our own
fun.
backyards, we have a Wynn Place. So you showed.
Yes. Yeah.
You showed. Okay.
Yes, exactly.
And Sam, I know you have a love for horses. What's your history with the horse?
Basically the same thing. My father told me if I passed the 1st grade, he'd give me a pony, and had horses ever since.
Love of horses ever since.
Yep.
And I know you guys race horses and raise them too, right? For other people.
But I used to be into the Western riding, the reining.
Okay.
Like the slide and the spins there.
Yeah,
But anyways, through a friend of a friend 20 years ago was telling me about the Sire Stake program with racehorses in Montreal, and said, you should get into that. And at first I thought they were probably brain dead, but as long as I'm going to have them around, it was nice to go for a check instead of a ribbon. and I had some luck.
So now that has been harness racing, right?
Harness
Yes.
race, yes.
Okay, and that's what you guys do.
Yes.
Okay. And if for the viewers that really don't understand the horse business, can you kind of explain what harness racing is?
Well, the harness is where they sit behind with the race bike,
Okay.
and you have your trotters, like this fella here with a trotter, and then you have your pacers. Trotter, pacer, right here. This they wear the hobble, so the front leg and the hind leg on each side work together. And matter of fact, Mark Berry was part owner on this horse.
Oh, really?
At one time, yeah. Mark had a partnership on a couple of them with me, and we did well.
And are the most of the races up in Canada, or do you go to the different fairs? And
No,
stuff like
now
that?
since then, the government kind of screwed things up for them in Quebec, and there's nothing in Quebec. And luckily, we started breeding here in New York, and like this year, I think we're going for just about 18 million in purse money in New York State this year.
So all across the state.
Just New York, yeah, Sire Stake program.
Now, do you go to
Very good.
Do you go to like one spot normally, or is it all over the place?
Everybody takes a turn. You got Saratoga, Yonkers, Tioga, Vernon, Batavia, Buffalo, Monticello.
So even Saratoga does harness racing.
Oh yes, they have a track right across from the thoroughbred track.
Oh, I just thought it was
Right across the
thoroughbreds
street.
down there. Okay.
Yeah, no, matter of fact, yeah, they started up here about a month ago.
Okay.
They closed just for the holidays for a
Yep.
couple months.
It's the one that's right in front of the casino.
There in front of the casino. Okay. That's really interesting. Now, how many horses do you have personally that you'll bring out there to race?
We got with the pieces that we own, we got 8.
8 of your own horses,
Right.
and now you board other horses too for other people, right?
Yes, and I have some elders in training. For matter of fact, a good friend of mine, Robbie Gale from Fort Covington, Helena, New York, we buy together, and I'll keep him for a while. And then I was running out of stalls, so he took them. He had a couple empty stalls, so he took those 2 up there to finish them off. And because I had other customers from Quebec coming over, because there's no, like I said, no racing. And years past, 3 years ago, I'm training some babies this year that we bred the mares 3 years ago.
Nice.
You know, and we bred the mares, and they left the mares here because they have to stay in New York. And then we fold them out, and then keep them for the summer, and then we come fall when we wean, take the babies away. The owners will take the babies home, and then and now they're coming back as 2-year-olds to be broken.
Now, how many stalls do you have here?
19.
And you're probably full.
Yeah, oh yeah.
You could probably use a bigger place. Huh?
And I got to go this afternoon to pick up 2 more for another very good owner, 1 for training and another broodmare to breed the stallion Imperial Angus here.
Now I know you have a website, but my guess is because you probably built this just on word of mouth. Is my guess. Your
Yep.
business.
Yep.
I would think. You know, and do you have now? I think on your website you actually younger people, if you get into the level of horses, you train them on how to ride and how to groom the horses. So you offer that service too?
Yep. I have probably about 20 students that ride with me a week.
Okay.
And yeah, it starts everything from you learn how to brush and groom and be able to ride, and those that want to be able to show. We bring to shows, and those that don't, I mean, that's fine as well. And there are some folks that are, I mean, a little bit older in life that want an outlet. They
Right,
want somewhere to relax for the day, somewhere to relax for an hour each week, and they come and they ride and they just have a nice time.
No kidding. Now, how many students do you have now that want to be actually on the back, on that little buggy behind the horse to
None,
to
it's
race?
too
I
darn
don't have
scary.
That's the hard thing too, to find number one, to be able to afford the insurance, to have some help. It's getting to the point where, like, when we're in the fall breaking the babies, before she goes into the deli, she's out here at 6, 7 in the morning to help me get out with the green horses. And then the well broke one, well then I can handle them by myself afterwards. But it's just at that point, but to find everybody you talk to, oh yeah, I know horses, but they don't know horses.
So now the horses that, like when you go to Saratoga and stuff, who races the horses?
I have drivers.
You have drivers?
I'm licensed trainer, and I can drive in a qualifier or fair race, but at the raceways you got to be an A driver. And like my buddy Robbie Gale, his son Truman, like in this picture here, he's 23. He's just about doing all our driving now.
Oh, so you just give them a call?
Well, it's like anything else. You got to have the hands for it, and when you're in, say 6, 8 races out of 10 or 12 a night, you get the feel for it. Where me, once or twice a week, no, you got to.
So there's a skill and level with that for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So no, when I call in, punch up on the computer whatever track we're going to race at, the condition sheet. They'll ask me who I want for a driver, and
Okay. And I know on your website there's a horse here, probably a pretty famous horse in the horse and circle called Imperial Angus. If you could talk about Imperial Angus a little bit.
well, he's a well-bred horse. He's got some family behind him. He's got a cousin that stands for 15,000 in the state of New York. Like I said, he's very well-bred, out of a good family, but he got hurt when he was young and didn't make a whole lot of money, and we stand him here for 2,000, and he does get enough to pay his way, but he's a nice horse, well-bred. And now we're just, like, we got a 3-year-old. This was her baby picture. We bred the mare, we foaled her out, and now she's a 3-year-old this year. I just brought her home. We raced her for last Friday in Vernon. She was 3rd, and raced very well. And so she's just starting to get some good babies out there, and that helps.
Yeah, when I was looking at the website, there was it over $100,000? Is it just the money that he brought in himself?
But these days, I mean, these horses, that's
Nothing.
peanuts.
That's nothing.
Yeah.
Because, when you got stallions there, like he's got a cousin, Conway Hall, made $1.5 million.
wow.
You know, I can't afford to breed those type of horses, but there are a lot of people out there, and I mean, you gotta, and that's the thing today, you gotta shop and try and get that expensive bloodline as cheap as you can. Because the speed these things are going these days, I mean, 18 million in purse money this year alone in the state of New York, and even things are a little rocky in Ontario, with their racing commission in Pennsylvania and New Jersey, everybody's coming to New York. So, I mean, got some big owners from California all over buying horses. I mean, they'll pay $300,000-400,000 for a yearling.
Now, what's the typical length of a race?
Mile.
1 mile, that's standard?
Yeah.
Yep.
1 mile.
Twice ran. Most of them in the state of New York are all half mile, like Saratoga. Their harness is all half, except for you got Vernon and Tioga is 7/8.
So a mile, the length of a race would be about how long? 3 minutes, 4 minutes?
2 minutes.
2 minutes.
Well, that's like my filly the other day when I said we raced her, they went 2 minutes and 2, but she trotted her last half, come home in 58 seconds. At 29 last quarter, and didn't even pop the earplugs out of her. She was still,
Wow.
but no, she's just starting back this year, and but no, these trotters now on a big track like that, they'll nothing to pace 155, 54.
Now, what is the, now if you go to Saratoga and you're going to the day of the races for this type of racing, and of course the races don't take that long, how many races do they get in a day?
Every evening they'll run 12, 14.
Okay, and over a period of time, how long does that take to go do 12 or 14 races?
They post times at 7 o'clock, they're usually done by 11.
Okay,
And like us, when we go down to race, you got a certain paddock times, you got to be in the paddock like an hour and a half before you race. Well, you got to go out and warm your horse up, bring her back in, and then you take her to the pee stall. It's like you or I, you know, you don't want to be running and working on a full stomach. So,
Right.
and we try and train them when we whistle to pee or empty out, and then you bring them back and you let them chill out, and about 45 minutes before, and then post time, and then when they call you, everybody goes out together. And
so there's a lot of effort getting this horse ready for that 1-2 minute race.
like our babies now, we started breaking them last September and jog them every day, all winter long. Get the miles on them. You got to get them built up.
And how many years before you get them onto the racetrack?
They'll be racing this year, this summer.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's
And then
really
like this
quick.
one filly, like I said, she's a 3-year-old now, but we got done with her last September, October. She had a few sore issues, so we did some vet work on her, and we gave her a couple 3 months off vacation and started her back first of the year. And
Okay. Now, all these pictures that you have in here, these are horses that have come through
Yep.
your system
that we've owned.
that you've owned. Okay.
And you only get your picture taken if you win, so
Oh, so you
that's a
have
good thing.
not place or show.
No, no.
These are all winners that
Yes.
we're looking at here.
Oh yeah, and there's still another. Just can't afford to frame. But no, it's a tough game. But you know, yes, it is nice to win. But the way the competition is these days, they pay back 5 places. So I mean, I'm in these sire stakes, we race for $30,000 to $70,000 a race.
A race.
Yeah, so I'm satisfied. You know, if
Right.
they race good and you even end up with a 5th, you get 5% of that.
Now,
You do that every week.
is there 12 horses at one time going at it, or
It all
is just-
depends. Saratoga, half mile, they only start 8.
Okay.
And now your bigger tracks, they'll start 9, 10.
Okay.
Wider track, bigger track.
Okay.
And, but no, it takes a lot to get them there. And like all mine this morning, they've already been jogged. The track was a little heavy there, so with all the rain, but we only like 4 miles and come in, wash them down, and do their legs back up. And
Now, what is the racing season? What is it from when to when?
year round, pretty much.
It's year round.
Oh yeah, yeah.
In New York?
Yep.
Yep.
Well, like I said, Saratoga now, they started closing a couple months around the holidays, and they used to open up 1st of February, but no, but it's rough on a horse. I mean, when we first started, yeah, she could tell you some horror stories. I mean, when you put a horse in the box to race 4 days before, and you never know what to live. And I mean, the forecasters, they can't predict tomorrow's weather, much
Sure.
less 4 days from now.
Right.
So, I mean, we left one day, and it was pretty much like this, going to Montreal, and when we didn't have as many horses, she used to come with me, because she'd walk them and give them a bath after, so I could go socialize.
Right.
And, but,
That's part of the business.
Right.
yeah.
Yes.
And,
Marketing.
Yeah.
but, you know, so we get up there, and it's nice. We go out to warm the horse up, starting to snow. We go out to race the horses. We're racing like an inch or two. By the time we brought him in, give him a bath, got him cooled out, dried off, there was like 6 inches of snow in the parking lot. Come back for 3 hours from Montreal that night. 4-wheel drive, 15 was no.
Wow.
Enough of that. And you know, we've had a couple where they had some breathing problems afterwards, and you know, when you're racing and really sucking that cold air in, it takes a toll on your lungs. And racing these aged horses, it's tough.
So
And
now, do you have a rule yourself on when you'll just race?
yeah, now we just race summertime
Summertime.
and just young horses.
So summertime is like May through September?
October.
You go to October?
Yeah.
Okay.
And last year though, we had one horse that I owned with Rob, Pretty Paper, but his son moved to Monticello with a bunch and raced down there this winter. We sent her down, and she raced a few starts at Yonkers, at the Meadowlands, and then we had a chance to sell her, and thank you, goodbye. And
So now, how often do you guys go out to be competitive, to go to these races? Like twice a month do you go out? Sometimes it's 5 times a month, sometimes
sometimes it's 5 times a week.
5 times a week. So,
Well-
so you're racing quite a bit then?
Yeah, and it's just getting started. The 3-year-olds start their sire stakes in the middle of May, and then the 2-year-olds will start in June, 1st of July. But you got your, your 2-year-old trotting colts, your 2-year-old trotting pacers, you know, and everything's all broken up. Nobody races. The girls race against the girls, the boys race against the boys, and your trotters and your. So it all depends how the schedule goes. You may be in Saratoga tonight. Tomorrow night or a couple nights, you may be in Buffalo.
Wow. So it is a busy schedule.
Yeah, no. And I mean, like I said, she used to come with me all the time, but now somebody's got to stay home and
Well,
do chores.
you got quite a business here going. You know?
And especially, and right now too, with the breeding season, it gets crazy.
Now, I know, Sam, when we first came in, you wanted to take us in where it says, "Bless this barn." I guess it all starts there. If we get Calvin, we'll take a walk over there and you kind of explain your operation here.
Yeah, sure.
All right, we've made it into this room, Carolyn. If you can kind of give the viewers where we are and what this room is all about.
Okay, this part of our barn, part of the office, is what we refer to as the laboratory.
Okay.
And this is where it all begins. Standard bred breeding is all done artificially. So it's all obviously artificial insemination. We have the stallion on the premises, so we draw from the stallion and then we prepare whatever needs to be done to either breed mares that are on the farm, and we also have the ability to breed mares that are off the farm.
Okay.
We ship by FedEx in these boxes right here. And the semen will be good for 24 to 48 hours.
Okay.
We have it sent,
Put your vials in there. This, and then the ice block.
and it's sent overnight express. And
Okay.
then wherever you are in the country, you're able to breed your mare to the Imperial Angus.
Okay, now when you're talking about breeding the mares, to race in New York, the mare has to be bred in New York.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, in order to be eligible for the sire stakes and stuff.
Okay.
But you know, with their farm, like even us, it's people that bring mares down, pacers, where Imperial Angus is a trotter. We got a couple mares there. We ordered semen with semen from Blue Chip Farm, Southern New York, and they do the same thing. They send it right up to us, and we inseminate the mares, so we don't have to do no trucking. You know, with the price of fuel.
That saves some expenses.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah. So, but it's all stays right in the state of New York.
Okay.
And then, like when Carolyn was explaining, our incubator, everything's pretty much got to be turned on almost 2 hours before we start, because everything, even your collection bottles and your vials, have to be up to body temperature, and a horse's temperature is the same as a human,
Okay.
98, 99. Because as soon as you collect, if it goes into something cold, it kills it. So then we just bring it in and we'll double check under the microscope, make sure we got the wigglers. And then, like she said, we mix it with the antibiotic. And then, when it's in the box, it cools slow. Then it kind of puts the boys to sleep. And then, when they receive it at the other end, when they inseminate it in the mare's body heat wakes them up, and away they go.
How did you learn this stuff? I mean, do you go to a
Well, when we
course for this? I mean, is it...
Canico Farm in Quebec first got us started in this. We go over there, and then, but I mean, being around these things 24/7, you want to wake up and be paying attention. Like even when people bring these brood mares, and we try and look out for our owners' pocketbook a little bit. You know, some people would milk them out, but no, we'll fool with the mare, we'll tease the mare, and I'll even, well, hand check them, you know, if the cervix is open. Because the stallion, when he breeds a mare in live cover, he don't go in that far. So where us, when we artificially, you know, our pipelettes are long enough, we go right into the cervix, so, and,
But they had wanted to stand some studs over in the state of New York quite a few years back. So in order for them to stand them at our farm, they did. They brought us up there probably 4 and 5 times a month over a few months, and we watched the way that they processed. We learned
Right.
from them. We got some pieces of equipment from them, and they basically really were there for us that first year to explain to us what to do and what to watch for and stuff.
Sure.
And then when things started to change and they decided to stand their stallions back up there, they kind of brought 1 or 2 back up there. We got some stallions from some other people, and it's just been on from there.
like this year, we're down, we only have the 1, but we've had this, as many as 4 at a time. And we got some other irons in the fire there, where next year, and we're even got some boys in Kentucky talking to us about thoroughbreds.
So
Because
every,
the money in New York, even the breeders, say you own a brood mare and you breed her and or you sell her at the yearling sale, or you sell her, you don't, and the next guy races her and she makes some money. You get 20% from the state of New York just for a breeding incentive.
so every day is different here at Kenby, right?
Oh, yeah.
There's no 2 days are. I'm just talking with you. It's quite an operation that you have here.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is anything else to talk about in this room here?
No, I think this is it.
No,
We can
so
go
this
into
is where we-
the stud barn.
You get everything prepared and ready, and then we go see Imperial Angus.
Okay, well, and then so just off the room that we were in before, there was a lot of horses in there.
This is the main barn.
Okay, the main barn. So we want to take us.
Well, here when we got set up, we wanted to keep our stallions and our brood mares in a separate barn, because she giving lessons on the weekends or whenever. With kids coming through, we're hanging
Mommy, what's
blankets.
that?
We're hanging blankets up and trying to keep we'll keep the boys out of the way, and the same with the brood. Even when mares get ready to foal, there's less traffic, and
Okay.
Exactly. They want
that's
some
why-
privacy.
Yeah. Well. So will you give us a tour of the main barn?
after.
Sure.
Okay.
'Cause
Well,
we'll go start because we got some newborn babies.
Okay. Now, what this is your main barn here.
Yes, the racehorses are in here, and
Okay. You want to go through there? Or you want to go to a different barn?
we're going to the stallion barn, see
Okay.
Imperial Angus, and we'll show you where the dummy is that they mount.
Yep,
and we
okay.
collect, and then we have some newborns out there.
Oh, nice.
And then when we're back in this barn, you can see what they're like after they're 2 and 3
Okay.
and
Yeah.
starting to race. And
Sure.
then it'll be the full circle.
Nice.
That's all.
Okay. Looking forward to it.
Okay.
Okay. Now we've made it into the breeding barn, and if you want to kind of explain what we got over here, and
Well, this is our breeding rack.
Okay.
When you're fooling with these 1,000-pound horses and whatever, they can be a little sentimental, especially the female, eh? So we don't want to get we don't want nobody getting kicked. So we'll we just open this up and walk them right in. Shut the doors behind, and then the front one, and they can walk right out as soon as we're done. And we'll put them in there to inseminate them, or to get our boys in the mood.
okay. And of
And-
course, go ahead.
And then from there, like our stallions, like I said, everything's artificial, so from day one, they're trained on the dummy. They never mount, which is safer. It can be a handful sometimes, but you're not having to worry about, sometimes these stallions can be pretty rough and on the mare. So, they get biting the mare, and the mare gets kicking. I kind of wish the thoroughbred people would, see, they're still live cover.
Okay.
And that's all he knows from day one. And it just looks like a mechanical bull. And
Okay.
And
And I know right behind you, we talked about him earlier.
Yeah, and
This is Imperial Angus here.
Yes, it is.
yeah, come here there, big boy. Come here. Come on. Come here. Come on.
My students call him Fabio because he's got that big forelock there. He's got the flowing mane and hair.
Fabio.
Yes. All he needs is bridle path cut there. He's
Yeah.
got a mohawk. Huh.
Anybody?
Oh.
Yeah.
So he's about 15 years old now.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's getting up there.
And he's got some, like I said, now we're just starting to breed some good mares to him, and matter of fact, we got a newborn here. Got a full, he's got a son that made 350,000. Couple girls out of this one mare we got at 90, 100,000. You know, they paid their way.
Yeah.
And but like I said, he's got a wicked family behind him, and he just happened to get injured when he was younger, and but with his breeding and his bloodlines, the owner decided to keep him, and so we've had him here in New York for 4 or 5 years.
Yep.
Okay. So that's the famous Imperial Angus.
Oh yeah. See, he's a lot quieter now, but you put a mare in the rack, he gets excited. But he knows better. But there's times, you know, you got to be firm with him, and then there's times you got to let him be a boy.
Now, as we go through, do you have other horses in here? He's being a boy.
Don't ignore me.
You want to talk about any of the other horses that you have?
That's just one here, but we got some newborns here. This is out of Imperial.
And she actually was born on Sunday afternoon at about 4:15. So she's
Like
like
this past Sunday?
the
Yeah, a couple days
day
old.
before yesterday.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So she's just a little girl.
Well, I guess so.
And matter of fact, I have her full brother in the other barn. She lost her foal last year. She's a very well-bred mare, credit winner.
Oh, look at that.
There she goes. Oh, big stretch.
This is the first filly out of this mare.
Exactly. All she's had before are boys.
Oh.
Come here.
Wicked pair of wheels, eh?
Wow.
Come here.
Mom was glad to get rid of her. Hey, Mom?
Yeah.
Well, like this mare, like I said, she's well-bred. I bought her at a sale, 15 grand to breed to her father. And I brought her home, broke her, and we raced her. And she started having some leg issues, but she showed some speed, she showed some talent, she paid her way. So, like I said, it's 15 grand to breed to her father. So, I mean, we're getting some good bloodlines, so that's why we kept her. And now we got some of her other babies going to the races this summer. And, the same, we have, like this mare here, the same owner that owns Imperial. He owns this mare, Panama Angus. I raced her for him.
And this mare is supposed to fold next week.
Yeah, she's due to fall. Matter of fact, I'm going to get one of her 3-year-old this afternoon. And but no, we raced this girl. We got a couple pictures in the office with her there in Montreal. She made a couple 100,000. Very good horse.
Wow.
Paid her way. No, she was a little flaky, but no. When you took her to the races, like I was saying before, when you go out to warm them up. Oh yeah, and then some of them they just know what's coming, and she'd stand and she'd shake. You almost had to strip the harness off her, give her a bath, make her think it was over, and she'd relax. And just 5 minutes before the race, throw the harness on. Andrew come with me before, and as you're leading her to the track, he's snapping the race bike on the back because oh yeah. But if you let her shake there for an hour, she had ulcer problem. Oh yeah, just a nervous wreck.
Now, when you talk about the racing, and I know we talked about it back inside the other building, when you talk about going to the race and there's like 8 horses racing,
Yeah.
are you invited to this race? How do you get
No,
involved?
yeah, we started, now, like, especially the Sire Stakes, we've already been paid, so they can't turn us away. My horses, they're all eligible for it. But, like, for an overnight event, yeah, you punch up the condition sheet, you have a horse, non-winners of 2, non-winners of 4, or non-winners of 2,500, last 5 starts, however, wherever he fits. You call up and put him in the box, race secretary, and whichever horse hasn't raced or raced the longest, like say you had a horse that raced just 7 days ago, mine raced 8, they'll take mine over yours.
Okay.
And that's all up to them and the secretary.
Now, how much lead time do you have on this? Do you know this before you leave here? That
Oh yeah, no. Like most times when you put a horse in the box, like okay, what's today? It'd be Tuesday. Put him in for Friday night. It'll be up on the website. All the entries this afternoon.
oh, okay. So you do have obviously some enough lead time so you can prepare.
Yeah,
for it.
and then if all else fails, well, then you look for, like say we were looking for Friday night, and then we'll look at the condition sheet over for Saturday, or go to another track.
Right.
And see where you can get your horse in to race.
Well, Calvin and I were talking, you get 15 people driving down there with their horses, like,
Right.
first come, first serve, you know?
And you know what position you got in this, and what race you're in, so you know what time. So if you're in the first race, 7:05 post, you gotta be in the paddock maybe like by 5:30.
Who gets the inside post? How's that decided?
That's
It's all
half.
the draw.
That's pure luck of the draw.
That's what they
I'm
said.
assuming whoever has the inside post has the advantage.
Oh, yeah, especially on these half-mile tracks.
Yeah.
And a couple, 3 years ago, they passed a law where if you happen to draw the 7 or the 8 hole, and you call up and scratch, you can't race your horse for 2 weeks,
Okay.
because,
Yeah, you just can't, yeah. You gotta show up.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Now, how often does an 8th or 7th draw, how often do they end up win, place, or show? Is it real rare?
No.
But it all depends how the race folds out. You know, if you got a horse that can leave a little bit and get off to the wings and get like in the middle of the pack and then just sit there. But if they all want to leave 100, and Mr. Jack, yeah, you got a long ways to.
And not a lot of time.
No,
When
you
the
got to
race
do it all in
takes
2 minutes. Yeah,
Yeah,
or
there's-
less.
Or less,
Because I
yeah.
mean, the open pace down there, going 153, 154, they're just the way they're breeding these horses these days, you know, they're flying.
Yeah.
So no, and then we matter.
Valentine's taking a nap.
This is Valentine.
Snoring quite
Matter of
loudly,
fact,
actually.
Valentine is full sister to the one I was telling you, the 3-year-old we just raced in.
Yeah.
Her mom is Gypsy Gabe.
Gypsy gay.
Yeah, Gabe. And Valentine, well, she was supposed to be, she was due on Valentine's Day, but she was a couple days late. And, but her name is, we're gonna name her something Valentine here anyways. Come here, Mom.
Come here.
Come here. Show your face.
She says it's lunchtime.
But, no, this is another well-bred mare. She's 19 years old now. And, yep,
She's shy all of a sudden.
yeah.
What is the lifespan of a horse?
23, 24.
Okay.
But no, she's a couple months old there now.
And that mare there is due just about any day. This mare is actually in the folding stall. We actually have a folding camera right up there.
Okay.
And it's got video and audio, and it's also got an infrared system. So that feeds directly inside of the house.
Sure.
So we're able to watch and able to
Much
pay
better.
attention, and as opposed to having to, okay, I haven't checked in an hour, get dressed, come out, turn all the lights on, everybody gets in an uproar. So it just, it's really made things a lot easier.
And any day now?
Yes. Yeah. Huh?
Yeah, we were kind of nervous there right up till last weekend, because the other mare, like I said, she was due like last week, and she just folds. We're back and forth here trying to keep an eye on both of them here with just the one camera. And that $800 a camera, we can only afford one right now. And,
In time.
Yeah, and just while we're here, okay, now this is Gypsy Gabe with Valentine, and then this little fella here is her yearling last year. Come here, buddy. Get up. Come here. This is her baby last year.
Oh, wow.
Come here, Walt. Come here, Carolyn. He likes you better than me.
Yes, where's Walter? Hi, buddy. Come here, Walter.
Sounds like thoroughbreds. They're all 1 year old, the same date.
Yep, 1st of January. No matter. So that's why we try and get them born as early as we can. You know, and it gives them a little more time to grow compared to babies born in May, May and June. We were lucky last year. He was born in March, and then your horses will have a foal heat, what they call a foal heat. Usually it's every 21 days, but the foal heat is within 7 to 10 after their foaling, after having their baby. And we were lucky we caught the old girl right in her foal heat, so that's why in 11 months we got a baby in February. But he was born in March last year. Because the horse, yeah, 11, pretty close to 11 months.
And you don't want to schedule them for January in case they get here early.
Exactly.
They get here earlier,
Exactly.
earlier
You
off.
get in trouble. Now, I got a 2-year-old filly I bought at Harrisburg sale last fall. She was born the 1st of February. So they say, but she looks like a 3-year-old. I mean, that's the difference.
Right.
You know, 2-3 months to these things, give them a little more time to grow and mature. Because like I said, we're their worst enemy, because that's where all the money is, which is sad in one way, is a 2- and 3-year-old. It's one thing as a 3-year-old, but these things gotta be ready to rock and roll as a baby, you know?
So every day you're taking them out trotting them?
They go 4 or
Every-
5
every
miles
single one of
every
them?
day. Every day, yeah.
And how many of these are you doing every day?
Well, I got 7 now, I'm going to have 8.
Every day, 4 or 5 miles.
Yeah, no, it's pretty much all morning.
I'm saying, yeah.
I was on the track this morning at 6, but now with the days getting longer in the wintertime, you know, then you get done by noon. But then by the time, like I said, you wash them or you rub them down and work on their feet or do up their legs, whatever, everyone's different, you know?
And I assume they look forward to the trot too.
Oh, yeah, you give these things a day off.
Yeah.
Like yesterday, I just turned them loose in the indoor just to get them out of the stall because it was raining, and they just run and buck and fart. But no, you know, they're like people. You got the ones that enjoy getting up in the morning and going to work, and then you got some that,
They got their personalities.
yeah, you got some just welfare. don't want to work, you know. But no, they got to have a heart. They got to have a heart. And I don't mind one that's got a heart.
Yeah, well, you go.
If he only can trot 3 minutes, but you can see
He wants it. Or she wants it.
you know, well, you got to give him credit. He's trying, you know.
Right.
But then you got the one that just flopping around that can go in 2 minutes, but no, you're just lazy.
Yeah.
No, you know, when they almost break their neck getting to the feed tub, and then you sit behind them, and you got to keep spanking them. No, that's what really cranks me. No, if they go half as fast on the track as they do to get to the feed tub. No, I don't like them.
You have winners every time.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Now, I know while we've been talking, we've had this young man here who's been off camera, and I think we should give him a little bit of camera time here. So who do we have here with us?
That's my cousin Andrew LaValle.
Andrew LaValle. Andrew, welcome to Hometown Cable.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you here.
Andrew, of course, his dad Wayne and I are first cousin. And,
Wayne LaValle.
yep, so
I know your dad very well.
he was getting sick of him when he was 13, 14 years old, so he sent him over to me. He said, can you find something for him to do? I give him a grease gun, and in about an hour he come back. I never thought a grease gun could be taken apart so many times. And he was. So anyway, ever since then, no, Andrew's been my right-hand man, and he's come before to the races with me, or anything needs to be done around here.
So he's your utility man.
Yeah, and he just happened, he's got a few days off there, so.
So you can do all this stuff.
Mostly, yeah.
Do you trot him out in the mornings too?
No, he does most of that. I used to, years back, I used to help him harness him up in the morning. And, but now with a full-time job, I just come around on weekends and stuff like that when I'm off.
So this is a second job for you?
Yep,
Oh,
and
wow.
just help keep maintenance up.
Put hay in.
Summertime, hay bales going in, shavings, whatever's gotta be done.
Electrical problem.
So what's your best part of this job that you like?
I like going to the races. Work, spend all the time and then go to the race and watch them do goods.
Yeah.
And believe me, he don't bet much. He's got a lot of LaValle in him.
Cousin Wayne will appreciate this. When he sees this.
He knows it too. Tighter than the bark on a tree.
Sam, I wish you would tell it the way it is.
Yeah.
You're sugarcoating here.
Sorry.
No, it's all in fun. Okay, and I know now on your website you had like an indoor stable.
Yeah, we can go over there now and we'll show you like this feller's full sister.
Okay.
You know, that's what we tried to do from the lab out here to the breeding barn and then the babies until where they are now.
And we're
then-
going to see some 2- and 3-year-olds. that
Yeah,
we're going?
and then
Okay.
she has her indoor in there.
Okay, nice. So we made it back to the original barn that we're in, and so this is where the 2- and 3-year-olds are.
Yep, the 2- and 3-year-old standard breds, and this is also where we have some of the saddle riding
Okay.
horses as well.
That's what the kids enjoy, are the saddle riding.
Yes, and me too.
You do too. That's your specialty.
Yes.
Okay. Now I see there's a bulldozer. Is that the-
Bulldozer, actually, this is my guy. He's my jumper. He's actually a thoroughbred. He's from the stallion Holy Bull.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's where his name comes from. And it's fun because you're able to track him because he is a thoroughbred and he's got the tattoo. You're able to track him online.
Okay.
So I found where he sold in Kentucky as a 2-year-old for $125,000. And then he went on to race and did not do very well. So somebody took a bath on him. The girl that I bought him from found him in Vermont in a pasture with some cows. She started training him, and then I bought him from her. And
And
now
how long have you owned Bulldozer?
Probably 4 years now.
Okay. And I assume that's you on bulldozer right there?
Yes, it is.
Come get a shot of that.
The only thing that he likes to do is jump. He doesn't like to just ride on the flat.
Oh,
He gets
really?
bored, and then he gets mad, and then he gets cranky, and
Now, do you compete
yes.
with bulldozer?
Yeah.
You do, okay.
Lake Placid?
No, unfortunately not. I like to go and watch, though. If I had the sponsorship and the money to go, it'd be kind of fun. But
I was thinking, she hit the nail on the head when you say sponsorship. You know, like these guys with the race cars, they go to every other business, you know, donation, paint. With these things, we can't paint nothing on the side of them.
Right,
You got to own one, you know?
right.
But it's nice if you can get, you know, we've had them before. You get 2-3 guys on one horse. You know, 25% of the bills, 25 you hope to get like when Mark Barry was with me, you know, I told him, don't put all your apples in one basket. You know, take a piece of one, piece of another one. If one don't make it, you know,
Right.
the other one help pay the way. But no, and like just the other day, we were talking about, well, I raced this filly in Vernon. Now she's napping.
Now, that's Valentine's sister, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
that's Lady Imperial.
Lady Imperial.
We call it, her nickname is Velvet, because when I helped, I bred the mare and I helped deliver,
it's an attractive pose there, Velvet.
Yeah.
and,
Deep sleep going
She's
on.
tired.
yeah. But this is her time. She's already did her exercise and her legs are done back up and she's had her vitamins and now but another hour she'll be looking for lunch.
Look at her. Lunch?
Yeah. But, forgot what I was talking about now. But no, to get the sponsors or, yeah, just, you know, now with the price of fuel, $230 to run down to Vernon and back. You know, it's all right once in a while, but you can't keep doing that all the time.
Right.
And,
Unless they win every time.
you know, but then, you know, they do that well, and then we sell them. I learned a long time ago, you can't fall in love with these things.
Right.
She does, or she used to. We had a horse one time, one of my first ones, and she had one of those breathing issues, could leave 100, and at the 3/4 pole, she wanted to stop and take a nap. Wasn't finishing good, and I took her to Three Rivers, stuck her in the claiming race, and out of 12 races that night, she was the only horse claimed. And she did the same thing. We didn't. So anyway, before I left, I called her, told her I was on my way home. She said, well, how'd we do? I said, I got good news and bad news. Bad news is, we didn't get a check. The good news is, I'm coming home with an empty trailer. Somebody claimed her. Her and Nolan bawled for a week. You know, you just can't afford to keep them.
Right.
You know,
It's a
you
business.
you give them every no, you know, the price of hay and grain and shavings and the time to get them there. And knock on wood, most of mine, I like trotters versus over pacers. And I got hooked up with a Metadite guy in Pennsylvania. We've never met each other, but he takes me for my word and him for a very good guy to deal with. And he's always looking for some nice buggy horses for the Amish down there to go to church with. And so it gives us a place to get rid of them.
Right.
Without, you know.
And just to backtrack for a minute, if you enter them in a claiming race, say it'll be
Oh,
a
I'm
claiming
sure.
race for $5,000. So if you want to walk up to the racetrack and you want to put in a claim for Velvet for $5,000, you do it before the race starts. Once the wings fold, once they start the race, Velvet's yours at the end of the race.
Okay.
If you and you and somebody else both put in checks for $5,000, then I believe they just pick one.
That's pick of the draw again.
Pick of the draw.
Whoever gets the claim.
So do you see that often, that somebody will just automatically throw money on a horse?
Claim.
On the
Yeah,
claim?
yeah.
Yeah, and I mean,
They
obviously,
like the look of the horse, they just...
well, it's a person that's done a lot of research. I mean, you've been watching her probably for 3 or 4 months.
Okay.
You know, you've been watching the races. You think you can do a little bit better with her. You like the way she's progressing. She's finally at a point that you want her. She's finally at a price that you want her. So as opposed to going to Sam and saying, well, I'll give you $5,000, Sam says, I want 6, blah, blah, blah. You put the check in the box for $5,000 because that's the race that he's specifically entered her in. And at the end of the race, you
She's yours.
walk her out of the parking lot and you bring her home.
So there really is a science to this.
yeah.
In the
you
racing
gotta-
world.
And you got to know what you're doing. Me, I don't consider myself that good a horseman to be. You want to be watching who you're claiming from because there's some trainers out there that
Are
Well-
pretty good chemists.
pretty good chemists and whatnot. And no, I like taking them from babies and breaking them myself.
Well, then
and
you know what you have.
I know what I got.
Right.
No, you know, some guys say, well, how come you don't go claim this one and claim that one? No. And then most of the time, these races too, they only race for $2,000, $3,000, $4,000. So you want to be 1-2 every week to
Right.
make some money to pay the expenses.
Yeah.
Where, like I said, with the younger ones, the sire stake horses, we go for good money, even just get a piece of it, it helps,
What? Sure.
you know? And, no, and then down here, the new filly that was just born on Sunday, this is her full brother.
Okay.
Yeah, he was, we broke him last September. He's a 2-year-old trotter. But see, he looks like his daddy. Daddy was Imperial Angus.
Right.
With the star and the snip like Ma. But now his full sister out there looks more like Ma.
Right.
You know, the bay color. So, no, that's it. Now, like say, this is a 2-year-old filly born 1st of February last year. And this guy was born in March or April. Just see the difference in size
Yeah.
from, you know, that extra 2-3 months being on Ma, and, yeah. She's sentimental.
And these chains for them are like toys. I want to say they're like pacifiers, but that's the wrong word. But you'll find, especially when they get nervous and worked up, they'll put them in their lips and put them in their mouths, and they just blip, 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 blip. And especially, I mean, at the racetrack, you'll find a lot of people do that. And when they're nervous and worked up, I mean, it's like you or I. I mean, we pace, we do things with our body, we do things. They just put those in their mouths and they work.
I'll leave him right on while I'm in the paddock.
Now, is he nervous now?
Her, yeah.
Or her nervous?
And she went looking for lunch. She's a well-bred, very well-bred filly, and got good size and showing a lot of talent. And but man, oh man, is
She's a little nutty.
she is sentimental. Yeah, yeah. And this filly here, she's one that we bred the mare. We fold her out here. She's a 2-year-old. We delivered her standing up one night out in the other barn. And my God, trying to help, and she was a big filly when she was born. Try to help Ma deliver you standing up, and then Carolyn's holding on. Carolyn talks to him, you know, push Ma.
You can do it, that's exactly. I'm the breathing coach. That's I'm the
Then-
birthing coach.
Finally, trying to help the mare deliver, and then catch it so she don't fall on her head and whatever, and because, you know, when they don't belong to you, and I hate to give an owner's bad news, so I try and do all I can to
Well, how many pounds is a newborn?
150, 180,
And you're going to try to catch that before?
and hold it, and, you know, you don't want him to get halfway out and break his back, and centerfold. Now that's
She always stands like that.
that's another one of Imperial's babies.
Really?
Yeah. The guy sent her up to us 3 years ago to breed the mare. We bred the mare, and then he filed bankruptcy, and where he had this horses stabled, I knew the guy in Saratoga, and he called me up last fall, and he said, Sam, I got a nice trotting filly out of your stallion up there. He says, help me out with the lawyer fees, he says, and you can, he said, take her home. So we weren't planning on her, but no, but and that's her thing. She likes to hang her tongue out. But no, and that's the gift.
Wonderful.
Yeah, and then that same night, this filly here, once we finally got her out, Ma busted a blood vessel, and she was gonna bleed to death. Just happened, she had her hair tied up in some kind of net, and she gave it to me, and
And a tourniquet?
and got in there, and,
Wow.
saved the mare and the
That
baby.
is something from MacGyver.
I mean, there wouldn't have been even time to call the vet, you know, I mean, in the middle of the night and whatever, but, you know, the mare would have bled to death, and I said, Grace, give me your hair tie, bale and twine, something, I gotta try,
Right.
you know, yeah.
Just instinct took over for you.
Yeah, and got her tied off and got it to clot, and
Right. Well, smart thinking.
so, no, so anyways, now they sent her down to us, we've pretty much finished breaking her, and hope to race her this year, and the same owner. I gotta go pick up that other filly out of Panama Angus there this afternoon, and we got one empty stall left in here, and that'll be full.
I noticed when we walked by, we had the indoor arena.
Yep, and that's her department there.
And we've made it to the indoor riding stable, and I'm sure you ride them all year round, I'm assuming.
Yes, it's still very chilly in January and February. I mean, it's just like being inside an ice rink.
Yeah.
I mean, besides the footing, you just got the tin walls, but it's nice to be out of the wind. At the old farm, I taught outside all year long for about 9 years, and so I'm feeling pretty spoiled in here.
So now, like, I mean, all this time you do your trotting outside with the horses and stuff. In the wintertime, you just walk them in circles here, or do you trot them in here too?
There's been
Oh, no, he
times-
trots, oh.
I got the track, but no, they go out in the track, and like this past.
Oh, even in the winter?
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
oh, every day.
Oh, okay.
I can show you after, I put borium on the bottom of their shoes to make corks, so they don't slip, and like this past winter with all the ice, thank God I got Randy Bedard right around the corner there, because I call him up when he finishes parking lots, it was 1 week, I think we had him sand 3 times 1 week,
Yeah?
you know, but no, these things gotta go.
Okay.
And I just soon be out there exercising, because if they stay in their stalls more than a day or two, they get bouncing and kicking, and that's when they get hurt.
Sure.
And, but no, there's been times where push comes to shove, like yesterday it was raining a lot, I just turn them loose and let them run and play and relax and be a kid again.
Right.
And, but like for her too, at the other, like she said, you used to have to ride outside, everything would have to be shod with corks, so they wouldn't slip and slide, and we're here, got a good base, they can go bare feet in here, and,
And you give lessons in here, Carolyn?
Yes,
Okay.
yep. Once it gets to be very nice out, we're able to go outside and ride as well. Over on the side there, I've got a place to ride and some place for us to be able to jump outside. You're able to put some jumps inside the arena, but it just makes it a little bit nicer when there's outside and you got more space.
Now-
And all of your shows are outside, so
Now, is your day pretty much regimented, like on Tuesdays and Thursday you do lessons for kids, and of course every day you're running the horses? Is it pretty much, I know things change every day, but do you have like set plans on how you do this?
He trains his every morning, say from 6:30 to 10. I do students during the week, Monday through Thursday, when I get home from the restaurant from 4 to 7. And then on Saturdays and Sundays, I do them from 10 until 2.
Okay.
So, I mean, that part of the day is, unless something doesn't throw a
in
big
between that, she's still
monkey
at the
wrench.
Sandy's Deli.
Right. Now, are you open to taking new students on?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And now, if somebody's watching this and they want to give you a call, how could they reach you?
They can use the phone number, 297-3506.
Yeah.
We have the website at Wooden Place and Show Farm.
.com.
.com. Yeah, I have schooling ponies that they can ride. If they have their own and they want to truck in, that's fine as well. I used to travel to teach, but now I haven't got the time.
Okay.
But, I mean, the possibilities are there.
And Sam, you're always looking for more horses too? You got room for more?
Not really, right now,
Right now,
I'm good,
You're
because
good.
my big trailer, I can only put 4 on, and like I said, we got 8, and, no, it's gonna get busy. Yeah, and then we got the 2-horse, so we're gonna be taking them both here sometime. But like I said, you know, your 2-year-old trotting colts may race tonight in Saratoga, and then tomorrow night, the 3-year-old trotting fillies will be in Buffalo, so, but you're
it's nonstop.
nonstop.
So we're very fortunate to probably get you guys today to do this interview.
It was a good time,
Yeah.
yeah. But like I said, I knew that when Kelvin had asked me about Tuesday, I knew there was something else I had to, like, but I gotta go pick those other 2 up, and we're just trying to figure out where we're gonna stick them. We're almost time for an addition.
Now, Calvin, do you want to add anything to today's show?
Just take a look outside.
Okay, you want to take a walk over there? Okay. Okay, so we're out at the end of the indoor riding stable, and we're looking out to the outside track here. I think, Sam, you're pointing out there's a turn over here to the right.
Yeah, I go right out here, and then, of course, when you jog horses, you always jog them the wrong way of the track. You let them jog and get in shape, and to relax. And then when you turn them, go the right way. That's part of the training too.
Okay.
So you don't want them going 100 every day.
Right.
You know, you're not gonna, but no, so we jog, and then when we train one to go a fast mile, and then we turn them, and, we got about a half a mile.
So is that a half-mile track?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not very wide, but for me, it does a job right now.
And then I see, Carolyn, you have your equestrian jumps,
Yep.
the poles there.
Yep, we've
And that's
got,
where you train there
yes.
with the kids?
Yep.
Now, is that the proper height for training, or do you raise them higher?
Depending on what the student is able to do depending on what the mount that they're on is
Sure.
able to do. And you practice with different things depending on, it's just like with, anything else. You start down low, you build build up both their muscles and their
Probably their
confidence,
Oh, I would
exactly.
say their confidence.
Exactly, and then you train a little bit above what you want to show at, just so when you're at a show, it's not exactly what you've been working at. It seems a little bit smaller, and then you're all set to go.
Now, when you're training the younger kids on this, they wear a special helmet,
Oh, yes, yep, you always,
elbow pads, and stuff like that.
no, as, you always have to wear some kind of boot that has a heel, so that your foot's not able to slide down through the stirrup and get stuck. And as you said, there's a special required helmet that they wear. And I don't care what your age is, I don't care if you're riding your own, as long as you ride on this property, you will wear one.
Now, I know you're an accomplished jumper doing this. So how high have you jumped before?
The highest I've probably gone is about 3.3, 3.6.
That's high.
Yes, it is.
I can jump.
I can't jump
Well,
that
and when
high.
you're sitting on top of a 17-hand horse besides,
Yeah. Oh, exactly.
that's why, like she says in here, in the spring of the year, she'll start off with a few small jumps, but when you get rolling and start going that height, Mr. Jack, the corners come quick.
Yeah, I bet they do.
Exactly, and as I get older, they seem taller. I don't know, it seems scary. I don't bounce the way I used to.
No, we don't. Not as we get older.
No.
Okay. Thank you for showing us this. And Sam, I know you want to mention, this just didn't happen by chance. You had a couple well-versed people that are good in construction build this for you.
Yeah, years ago, when I was doing a little excavating work, I used to do a lot of work with Wayne Supernaw, and no, he was my first one to call when of course, he never built a horse barn, and but no, him and Corey were very good. And matter of fact, where he's looking up above and that little hayloft, and of course we have another bigger one over the stud barn, but just into it every day. Like he said, why don't we change and go with a scissor rafter up there, give you more headroom, blah blah blah. And no, but like not ever building a horse barn. When it comes to doing the stalls, I don't know if you noticed, but none of my stalls are nailed. Everything's in an angle iron. So one plank breaks, they slide right out, slide another one in. There's no nails, no screws. But then when I happen not be here and they started putting the gates, they're putting the gates side by side. No, boys. You don't want one horse reaching out and grabbing the other one. But no, between their knowledge and the building and construction and mine with the horses, how I wanted it.
Because when it'll be 3 years in September we've been here, and when we first bought the property, the only structure that was on here was the stud barn, but there was nothing in it. There was no stalls, there was no concrete, it was just a floor, and so we closed on the property the end of June, and we moved in September, so the boys really did a great job, and they were trying to work with us too. They were putting stalls in, but then all of a sudden it was time to put in hay, so then they had to build us a loft to put in hay. So we put in the hay, and then we wanted the stalls done, move the horses over, so.
And then with the two barns, like I said, well, that one was enclosed, like she said, but so rain day, they could go in there and work and get the stalls done and the hay loft done in that one, and then when it was nice, they'd come and work on this one. But then finally, like she said, was saying, it come time, boys, we gotta get some hay in the barn. Let's get the other one done, and we'll finish up this one later. And but no, they're good fellers.
I know when I talked to you earlier and I said, could you use any more horses? You said, no, you're kind of maxed out, but you're always looking for investors.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Well, like I was saying before, was when Mark Barry, you don't have to buy a whole horse or half a horse. 25% you want to get in the game, but then again, we got a new owner, Randy Gay, but never realized. Now you start getting horse in the betting, you have to get your fingerprints, race and wagering board, your fingerprints, your picture taken, and no, everything's on the up and up, boys, which is good. Even my dad is an owner, and at the time, he was still a legislator, and there was an extra couple forms he had to fill out, being such as the politician,
Right.
and being a horse owner involved with the betting in the state of New York. And I want to put a plug in for our governor, because born and brought up Republican, I think this feller is doing a good job for the state of New York, and he likes slot machines. They're bringing in some revenue.
Yeah.
And thank God for the people that like to gamble. But we get a percentage off the slots, and no, it keeps everything rolling. Because you start going around to these tracks and the casinos, and a lot of money spent there.
Well, Sam, Carolyn, thank you very much for opening your doors to Hometown Cable, and the viewers I know that are going to enjoy this, because I was learning things as you were talking, because, I mean, I know horses, but not like you guys know horses, and this show he'll be posting it on Hometown Cable Network either tonight or tomorrow, so if you want to watch it. And actually, he'll probably end up sending you a link to your website or to your email address, and it'll be on the Access channel. And we do these shows talking business to highlight local businesses, so people know that they're out there, because you really don't know this is here. You're on, I won't say off the beaten track, but you're not on the main road. So unless you come down this road, you probably really don't know. And so we want to expose businesses, and we're big on supporting local businesses. And so that's what this show's all about. And again, thank you for opening your doors to us.
You're welcome.
Thank you, boys,
Thank
for stopping by.
Yeah.
You're welcome. Well, hopefully the folks can hear this, as we have some real gusting wind coming at me here as I'm closing out our show here at the Wynn Place and Show Farm here on the Hayford Road in Champlain, New York. This sign was done by the former Jess Poirier, and then I do apologize, Jess, I forgot what your married name is, but Jess has a business in the old Shazy Hardware building, and we actually did a show talking business with her. And if you need a sign, this was a sign done by Jess. Pardon me?
JP Signs.
JP Signs is what the business is called, and it's in the former hardware store in Shazy, and she did a nice job here for Sam and Carolyn. If you enjoy this programming that you're seeing here called Talkin' Business, we are making an appeal right now for you to support Hometown Cable, and that's how we're able to keep it on the air. Calvin will show it on the Access channels here, and on Channel 24 for Time Warner, and I think it's Channel 31 for Charter. What is it, Calvin? 15 in Plattsburgh for Charter, but he posts these shows on the internet, hometowncablenetwork.com, and there's also plattsburgh.com. And if you feel compelled to send a donation, please send it to 1477 Ridge Road in Champlain, New York, 12919, in care of Calvin Castine or Hometown Cable. And this program is only brought to you by viewer support and business support. And if you're a business and would like to expose your business to the marketplace, Calvin has incredible rates for you to advertise on. I've been a satisfied customer for Hometown Cable for over 20 years now, and you won't be disappointed at all. And if you'd like to have your show highlighted on Talkin' Business, just give Calvin a call. It's 298-HOME, H-O-M-E, or the last four digits? 4663. 298-4663 or 298-HOME. Give Calvin a call, and he will schedule us to do a show for you to expose your home to the marketplace. And you can also go to the HometownCableNetwork.com or Plattsburgh.com to make a donation through PayPal, and that's how Calvin makes his living. But these are definitely North Country treasures, and we want to preserve these memories, and he's posting every day on the internet. Every time I see you, Calvin, that number changes. So how many up to now? 7650. Who's counting? And he has probably another 8,000 more to post. At least, is what he's saying. So there's a treasure chest of memories there and shows spanning back 27, 28 years. So a donation to Hometown Cable would definitely be appreciated. I do this because I believe in the cause of what Hometown Cable is trying to do here for the North Country. It's a way for me to give back, and I enjoy doing it immensely. I do not get paid for this. It's totally supporting Hometown Cable. So we will appeal to you, and if you're seeing it for the first time, we would, or Calvin would, appreciate the donation. And if you're a long-time giver and you haven't given in a long time and you want to send a donation in, Calvin would definitely appreciate that. But this is another edition of Talkin' Business. We were at the Wynn Place and Show Farm here on the Hayford Road as I'm getting blown back here by the wind in Champlain, New York. It is the 24th day of April